What's the topic of our conversation tonight? I had a very interesting conversation today. And you know what interests me about the conversation? I had a guy tell me, y'all need to put that white man's book down. And I asked him, what book? And he keeps talking about Christianity. I had to inform him that the Bible and Christianity are two different things. They're not even the same thing. They ain't even the same thing. And we had this long conversation about a lot of myths and a lot of things that ain't true. That's what the whole argument was about. What's a lie and what's not a lie? What's a lie and what's not a lie? So now, let me help educate y'all on something. The Bible has nothing to do with religion, man. It's like I have to keep going over these same conversations over and over and over again because people think they know things because they heard different things and really can't prove nothing they heard. So now, let me tell you why we read the King James Bible. And if you look and say if the King James 1611 version is an accurate translation, it's going to tell you it's one of the most accurate translations you can use. So now, let me break this down when I read it to you about King James. So we can get rid of some of the lies we think we know. Because that's the first thing he said. King James wrote the Bible. So now we go into the Bible dictionary. We're going to look up in the Bible dictionary and we're going to see what does it say about King James. That's what we're going to do. Now, we went to King James and we're looking up the Bible. And it say, King James, when Elizabeth died in 1603, the crown passed to James I, who had been king of Scotland for 37 years. It said, he said the throne of England, he authorized the new translation of the Bible to replace the Bishop Bible. 47 of the best Hebrew and Greek scholars. You know why he had 47? King James had 47 of the best Hebrew and Greek scholars? Because when they brought them vases out and they opened up that pottery and them scrolls they took out were wrote in Hebrew and Greek. See, the children of Israel, we carried our records around. We always carried our records around. Even when you check the history of the original people, the real Jews, you're going to see that we always carried our history around. That was a part of something we did. And when you pick up the Bible, you're reading the culture of a people. The children of Israel was mentioned over 2,500 times in the Bible. That's who the Bible was about. When you read the book of the Bible and you see Egypt in the Bible, you don't get the history of the Egyptians because it's not their Bible. If you did get the history of the Egyptians, you'd know that place wasn't even called Egypt. The Greeks gave it that name. When you get the history, when it talks about the Assyrian, the Babylonian, the Persian, the Greek, the Romans, you get none of these people history in the Bible because it's not their book. It's not their book. The only time these people are mentioned is when the children of Israel come in them lands. That's when they come in them lands. So now, one more time, King James. King James had 47 of the best Hebrew and Greek scholars. He said of that day were divided into 6 groups. So now they have 47 of the best Hebrew and Greek scholars. They were divided into 6 groups. This to show you King James never wrote nothing. How long before he kicked out the wheat word? I don't even know what that means. But anyway, it say he had 47 of the best Hebrew and Greek scholars of that day. He said 6 groups. He said 3 for the old. He said 2 for the new, and he said, and also for the Apocrypha. The Apocrypha was in the original Bible. So when people say they don't subscribe to Apocrypha, They took the Apocrypha out the Bible. It's canon. It was also in the Dead Sea Scrolls. Before y'all say it wasn't, it was. So they took these books out the Bible. They took these books out the Bible. So the only reason why I was trying to show you this is to show you, when you pick up the Bible, you're reading the history of a group of people. You're reading the history of the Israelites, who I like to refer to were the Negroes. Why do you say I say the Israelites were Negroes? The Bible say they was Negroes. History books say they were Negroes. That's who they were. Simple. You know, when Putin tried to show y'all who they was, we also had this book. This book is also a book of the Russian icons. They show you the pictures of these people, how they look, what they look like, and all that. The only reason why I'm even going through any of this, you know, is because to show you that as a group of people, we have something the Most High gave us. He gave us laws, statutes, and commandments. It all lines up with the OT. I'm a firm believer that the whole Bible go together. I'm not a firm believer of the Council of Nicaea is the one who separated the book. When when Jesus Christ was talking about the Feast of Dedication, you find that in the Apocrypha. You don't find that in the Old, it's in the Apocrypha. So the Apocrypha is quoted in the Bible. You just have to know what you're reading. A lot of us pick up the New Testament and we don't read no other part of the Bible. We don't even know what the rest of the Bible. And you know the crazy thing about that is, when them people existed, Paul, Peter, John, there was no such thing as the New Testament. So everything they're reading and quoting from is actually from the Old Testament. The Old Testament talks about the New Testament, and the New Testament talks about the Old Testament. You know, so when Russia, and see, my point is this, I always hear people say it ain't about color, it ain't about race. If it ain't about color and if it ain't about race, then why do we lie? Why do we lie about the color? If we really say we love the Most High, like everybody say they love God, then why do we lie about the color? Does it hurt people so much that Christ was of Negro descent? You know why I say he was of Negro descent? Because he couldn't be from the bloodline of Ham, because Ham are Africans. Negroes are, let me read it to you out the Bible dictionary. This is the dictionary. I'm going to read it to you about Ham so you can get a better clue. So when Putin was showing you this, just like these books show you who these people were, you can get a better understanding. So let me go to the Bible. Let's see what all the scholars, let's see what these scholars say. So you won't think it's just some guy getting on here running his mouth. And keep in mind, these scholars ain't my people, man. I say that to say because people say they love God so much till you start revealing what he looked like. Then all of a sudden that love ain't there no more. So now, the Bible dictionary, this is what the scholars say. He said, Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Libyans, and the Canaanites, which are South Africans. You know why I said Ham is not the forefather of the Negroes? Because Negroes and Africans are 2 different races of people. For all of y'all out there in Lola land who don't know this, my people became Africans in 1984, 85. That's when we became Africans. We were never Africans prior to 1984. We were Negroes. And throughout the diaspora of that continent, before you can call it Africa, Negroes were classified as Jews. All through Spain, Portugal, I can read you the history from on and on and on. So somebody said, I don't care what color Christ is. Can I sit at my, he said he can sit at my table. My whole point is, A lot of people say they don't care what color Christ is. I hear everybody say that. But then the question I ask is, then why did they change the color throughout history? Why did they change it? If color don't matter, I get tired of hearing people say color don't matter. And throughout history, color ain't nothing been then changed but the color. Color been changed throughout history. It's been changed, but people say it don't matter. Why when I go to fill out my job application, they want to know what my race is, but it don't matter. Somebody explain that to me. I get tired of hearing people say color don't matter, but I can look out throughout history where color's just been constantly changed. Constantly changed. Do you know at one point in time, black folks rent Europe, literally rent Europe. It was called the Dark Ages, not cause no plague or none of these lies they be telling. This is what I'm saying. History that we know has been a complete compulsive lie after lie after lie after lie. And who created these lies? And why was these lies created? That's the question I'm asking. That's the question. I get tired of hearing people say anything about color when my people always get reminded of their color. We always get reminded. It's like everybody against us. The Africans, shit, everybody, the Arabs, who ain't against us? Just like it was said it was going to be revealed in the children of Israel. Do you know the Most High said everybody was going to be against the children? Let me read it to you in the Bible. Let's go to Psalms 83. I like reading that. You know why I like reading Psalms 83? Because it talk about how these nations came together against God's people, the children of Israel. See, everybody believe we all God's people. There's no verse in the Bible that say we all the children of God. Nobody can show me one verse where it say we all the children of God. Since the beginning of time, the Most High have chosen somebody. And all the other nations were supposed to learn from the people that he chose. That's how it was went. We failed to do our part. We failed and we broke our contract, which was the covenant that we made with the Most High. We broke that. And in the process of us breaking that, we were punished. See, I just had a conversation with somebody and they keep talking about if I don't believe in religion, why I pick up the Bible. Can anybody show me? And I told them religion is not in the Bible. The Bible and religion are two different things. Religion is man-made, created by a group of people. The Bible is historical records about a particular people. They're two different things. Religion was created off the Bible. You can't find nobody in the Bible that's a Christian. From Genesis to Revelation, they don't even know what the hell Christianity is. God gave us laws. Let me show you what my Most High say he gave us. Let me read it to y'all so we can get a better understanding so y'all can get this religious thing out y'all head. We're going to go to Deuteronomy, the Old Testament. You know, the part that nobody likes to read, the Old Testament. So we're going to go to the Old Testament because don't nobody read the Old Testament, especially you people in the New Testament, Christians. Y'all don't read the Old Testament. So y'all really don't know what's going on in the New Testament. Y'all think Paul just came and undid everything the Most High Christ and everybody else did. So now let's go to Deuteronomy, and we're going to go to verse 27. And we're going to drop down, wait, and Moses and the elders commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you this day, and it shall be that way. You shall pass the Jordan River, she said. Let me go down. Do I start at 28? Yeah, we go at 28. It shall come past it diligently to the voice of the Lord. It says, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee high above all nations on the earth. So if he said, if y'all keep these commandments, if y'all keep this contract I make with y'all, I'm gonna sit y'all above all nations on the face of the earth. That's what the Most High just told the children of Israel. That don't sound like equality to me. That don't sound like bringing us all together. He said, y'all do what I tell y'all to do. Y'all going to be above everybody that's on the face of the earth. And we didn't do that. So let's keep going. Let me go to... It say now, and let me drop down to Deuteronomy. Let me see. It said, Moses and the priests, the Levites, spoke unto all Israel, saying, take heed, hearken, O Israel, this day, that art become the people of the Lord thy God. And thou shalt therefore obey the voice of the Lord thy God, and do all his commandments and statutes, which I command thee this day. And Moses charged the people that same day. So the Moses said, listen, this is the contract we made with the Most High, that we was going to keep the commandments, the laws, the statutes. That's what he gave us. He didn't give us a Baptist church, a Jehovah's Witness. He gave us none of that. He gave the children of Israel laws, statutes, and commandments. We agreed that we would keep them. So we entered a contract with the Most High, and we broke that contract. We broke that contract. Let me show you what the Most High said. Verse 15. He said, Deuteronomy 28 and 15, it say, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments and statutes which I command thee this day, all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So the Most High said, if y'all do what I tell y'all to do, I'm going to set y'all above everybody. Y'all going to rule. But if y'all don't do what I tell y'all to do, then now I'm about to give you a list of curses that's going to happen to you people for not doing what I told you to do. Not what we's a cursed people. He put this, let me show you. Let me show you. Let me finish reading what I'm saying. And hold up. And these curses shall be a proper sign. Somebody said Galatians 3, 27 and 28. So I'm going to go to Galatians 27 and Galatians 3, 27 and 28. So let's go to Galatians 3. Somebody said Galatians 3, 27 and 28. So let's go to Galatians, Galatians 3. Let's start at Galatians 1, chapter 1, so we can get a little context of who Paul wrote these letters to. Because y'all pick Paul's letters up. Let me read to y'all first what Peter said about Paul, and then I'm going to get to Paul's letters just to show y'all. Y'all don't understand what Paul's talking about. You see. People who are unlearned and wrestle with the scriptures use Paul's letters for their own destruction. We're going to go to 2 Peter 3 and 16. 2 Peter 3, and I'm going to go back to Galatians, but I want to read to y'all something when y'all pick up Paul's letter. 2 Peter chapter 3, we're going to drop down verse 15. And notice this, out of everybody in the Bible, Peter, who was over Paul, he speaks about Paul's letters. I'm going to go to Galatians one question at a time. I'm going to Galatians 3, 27 and 28 after I read what Peter, who's over Paul, what he said. This is what Peter said. Wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, be diligent that thee may be found of him in peace, without spot and blamelessly. And account, he said, and account that the long suffering of the Lord is salvation, even as our beloved brother Paul, also according to the wisdom given unto him, had written unto you. In all his epistles, his letters, speaking of them of things in which are some things hard to be understood, which they that are unlearned and unstable wrestle, as they do also with other scriptures unto their own destruction. Why is Peter saying, why is Peter talking? Peter said people takes Paul's letters. He said, y'all already unlearned in the scriptures. And then you take Paul's letters and use them for your own destruction. Why is Peter talking specifically about something the whole church used? Paul's letters. Peter is speaking about nobody else but Paul. The Baptist Church, Jehovah's Witnesses, everybody used Paul's letters. And Peter said, y'all don't understand what the hell Paul talking about. That's what Peter said. Peter said, y'all use Paul's letters for your own destruction. Y'all use Paul's letters to say you can eat pork and break the Leviticus law. And Paul didn't eat pork. Paul kept the law. All the disciples are still keeping the law. But y'all will say, Paul said, you ain't got to do none of that. This is why Peter said, stay the hell out of Paul's letters, because y'all don't understand what Paul's talking about. Now, let's get into Paul's letters, since you brought Galatians up. Now, let's go back to Galatians. I don't want you to think I'm running for that. So we're going to go to Galatians, and we're going to do this on a more polished side, where we can get a true understanding of this. So we're going to go to Galatians, and we're going to start at Galatians chapter 1. Then I'm going to go to verse 3. Why is we starting in chapter 1? Letters are wrote to somebody. We have to see who Paul is writing this letter to in Galatians. So now we're going to go to Galatians, and we're going to go to chapter 1. And then I'm going to go to chapter 3. Galatians chapter 1. He said, Paul, an apostle, not of men, neither by men, but by Jesus Christ, the God of the Father who raised him from the dead, and all the brethren which are with me unto the churches of Galatia. Now, he said he's writing his letters to all the brethren that be in Galatia. Who was Paul's brethren? Let's see. And I'm going to go back to Galatians. This is called precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. See, the Bible has to be put together. So let's see who Paul's brethren is. Let's go to Romans 9. And we're going to see who Paul's brethren is. He said, I say the truth in Christ, I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness in the Holy Ghost, that I have great heaviness and continued sorrow in my heart. For I wish myself can be accursed from Christ, from my brethren, the same people he said he was writing to the brethren in Corinth, for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh. So when Paul said he's writing to the brethren in Corinth, this is according to the flesh, who are Israelites. So Paul told you his brethren are Israelites in Romans 9. So I don't know how you get to Galatians, and he's writing to the people in Galatians that is for everybody. He's writing to the Israelites that's in Galatians. So now let's get back to Galatians. You know how I know what this is. Let's go back to Galatians. We're going to go back to Galatians 3, and you want 27 and 28. Let me go down here to it. For as many of you have been baptized into Christ, have put on Christ. There is neither Jew nor Greek. He said, there is neither bond nor free. There is neither male or female, for ye are all one in Christ Jesus. What do that mean? Do that mean Christ came to die for? That's what you showed me. Christ was for everybody. Why don't you turn to Galatians 4 and 4, the next page. Let's see. This will contradict what you just said if it meant this in Galatians 24 and 4. In Galatians 4 and 4, let me start at this Galatians 3. It said, even so we, when we were children, we were in bondage under the elements of the world. He said, but when the fullness of the time was come, God sent forth a son made of a woman made under the law. This is still in Galatians. This is the next page over. It said, when the time of the fullness came, the Most High sent his son made of a woman under the law. What does that mean when it says she was made under the law? Meaning she was an Israelite. The only people that God ever gave his laws to was the children of Israel. Can't nobody show me in here no other nation God ever gave his laws to. So let's keep going. It said, when the fullness of the time, let's go. But when the fullness of the time was come, God sent forth his son made of a woman under the law to redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive the adoptions of sons. This would contradict the verse you read if that meant what you thought it meant. These people in the Galatians that you think are Gentile, these are Israelites. That's why this verse just told you that Christ, the Most High, sent Christ to redeem them that were under the law. The only people God gave his laws to were the children of Israel. He said, this Christian isn't trying to keep the law. You don't even know what the law is. You know what the law is? The law is let me show you what the law is. Law is breaking God's, that's sin. That's breaking God's law. But let me show you, the only people God ever gave his laws to was the children of Israel. So let's go to Psalms 147 and let's just prove this. Psalms 147, 19 and 20. He showed his word to Jacob. That's this Bible. His statutes and his judgments unto Israel. The penalties for breaking God's laws, he said he showed them to Israel. He hath not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise the Lord God. Praise the Lord. So it just told you the Most High never gave his word. He never gave his word to no other nation. So if he never gave his word to no other nation, and we know the God of this Bible don't change, how did these other nations be able to get God's word that they can sin? Show me where another nation getting punished for sinning. When they said Christ came to redeem them that were under the law, made of a woman under the law, to redeem them that were under the law, that excludes everybody that ain't under the law. So now let me go back to the verse that you pulled out of Galatians. I don't know why y'all be always going into Galatians. Before I go there, let me give you Acts 2. Let's go to Acts 2. And he said, and they were dwelling in Jerusalem, Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. And it also, when you get to verse 7, it tells you they came out of Galatia too. They came out of there. We Jews were scattered in every nation. If y'all read the Old Testament, one of the curses that would happen to the children of Israel, let me read it to y'all. This is why y'all don't know. We were scattered in all the nations. We were scattered everywhere. Let me give y'all James 1 and 1. It say, this is James. James chapter 1. James, a servant of God, of the Lord Jesus Christ, to the 12 which are scattered abroad, greetings. This is why the disciples had to go out, because we were scattered everywhere. Now let me take y'all to Deuteronomy, so we can I can take you. You see how all this line up? I can go from the Old Testament to the New Testament and just keep going all the way back. So now let me go to Deuteronomy 28. And let me see if I can find it for you in Deuteronomy. It say, verse 24, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other, and thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, wood and stone. That's Christianity and Islam. The cross represents the wood. The stone represents the cobblestone they step around. So the Most High say, I'm going to scatter y'all to the four corners of the earth. Deuteronomy 28 tells you all the curses that the children of Israel will follow. We was going to be put on ships and scattered to the four corners of the earth. You know what kills me about people? The children of Israel got to go through all the punishments. No other nation got to serve no punishments, but everybody get the blessing. Ain't that some crazy stuff? Everybody get the blessings, but only the children of Israel got to do the punishments. We the only one got to get punished, but everybody else just get blessed. How much sense do that make? The children of Israel do all the punishments, but God just give everybody else the blessings. They don't have to keep no law. And I get tired of hearing Christians say, you can't keep the law. Who says you can't keep the law? The Bible didn't say you couldn't keep the law. The Bible never said you couldn't keep the law. Let me tell you what Christ said. Be ye perfect as your Father was perfect. Let's go to Matthew 5 and 48. Go to Matthew 5 and 48. I want to listen to what Christ told me. You say I can't be perfect. You say I can't keep the law. But let's see if Christ told me that. Because Christ told me if I wanted to enter the kingdom, I have to keep the law. That's what he told me. Christianity tell you you can't keep the law. The Bible never says you couldn't keep the law. This is Matthew 5, verse 48. And it say, be ye perfect, even as your Father, which are in heaven, is perfect. Christ told us to be perfect. You say we can't be perfect. Is there anybody else in the Bible that kept the law besides Christ and followed all the laws and commandments? Let's see. Let's go to Luke 1, and let's see if we can find it in Luke 1. Because I get tired of y'all keep saying nobody can keep the law. It was people in the Bible that kept the law. So now let me find it for you. This is Luke 1, verse 5. And there, it said, there was in the days of Herod, the king of Judea, a certain priest named Zacharias, and of course of Abba, and his wife was of the daughters of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth, and they both were righteous before God, walking in all the commandments and ordinances of the Lord blamelessly. So y'all saying we can't keep the law, but the Bible so far just shows you it was people that were keeping the law. Zacharias them kept the law. They was perfect. They walked in the law blamelessly. Let me give y'all a news flash. Right now, me sitting here, I'm being perfect. You might say, well, how you being perfect? I'm not breaking none of my God's laws. I'm not breaking his laws. That's how you be perfect. You keep the commandments. My God said it ain't hard for y'all to not eat pork. It ain't hard for you to not eat shrimp, crab, lobster. It ain't hard for you to not sleep with your brother, wife. It ain't hard. What's hard about keeping the commandments? I just always hear people say you can't keep. Jesus Christ never said you. Let's see what Christ said out of his mouth. Let's see. I want to see you what Christ told you what you can do. See, I just showed you this in the New Testament. They say they kept. Let me say this one more time. They both were righteous before God, walking in all the commandments and ordinances of the Lord blamelessly. Meaning they was keeping the commandments and they was standing on business. Ain't that what y'all say, standing on business? With Zacharias and his wife Elizabeth, they was standing on business. They was keeping these laws. And my God said they did it blamelessly. They did it blamelessly. So this ain't the only people that did it. So it's 600. I'm going to read to you what Christ said out his mouth. And let's see what Christ say. Because Christians always butcher this verse. This is what Christ said, Matthew 5, verse 17. He said, think not. When somebody tells you to think not, that means you don't think it. That means that thought don't even come in your head. Mean you don't even let it register. Christ started off said, think not that I come to destroy the law. He said, think not. That means it said, think not. This was what Christ saying out his own mouth. Christ saying, think not that I come to destroy the law. That's what Christ said. He said, think not that he come to destroy the law. So this is where Christians stop at. He said, I did not come to destroy, but to fulfill. And they drop it right there and say he fulfilled the law. That's not what he said. He came to fulfill. What did Christ come to fulfill? We know it couldn't be he came to fulfill the law, because when you get to reading the rest of the verse, let me finish it. He said, think not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. That means he didn't come to destroy the Old Testament either. That's where you find the prophets at, in the Old Testament. He said, I didn't come to destroy the law or the prophets. He said, I come not to destroy, but to fulfill. And this is where all the Christian churches stop at. They say he fulfilled the law. That's not what that said. He said, think not that I come to destroy the law. I came not to destroy, but to fulfill. He said, for verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass. One jot or one little tilt shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. He said, I didn't come to destroy the law. He said, not one jot or one little tilt shall no wise pass for the law. To all mean all the prophecies that's in the Old Testament has to be fulfilled. And they ain't been fulfilled. Let's keep going so we can get better understanding. He said, verily I say to you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one little or one, he said, one jot or one little or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law to all be fulfilled. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whoever shall do and teach them shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. So how do y'all get Christ came to destroy the law when he's telling you that if you teach people to not keep the law, you will be the least in the kingdom of heaven? But if I'm teaching people to keep the law, I should be called greater in the kingdom of heaven. Now, what did Christ fulfill? Let's go to Acts chapter 3. This is why the Bible has to be read precept upon precept. I meet so many guys out here in these streets who swear they know the Bible. And the first thing they get to talking about is a talking snake. Man, that's a metaphor for a man. They get to speaking about stuff they know nothing about. This is why we've been out here to teach y'all the correct teaching of this book. And the only people who've been authorized to teach this book is the children of Israel. You don't believe me? I'll show you. The Most High said he only raised the children of Israel up to teach this book. Other nations wasn't allowed to have this book. Other nations wasn't even teaching this book in the Bible. In the Bible. So now let's go to Amos 3. And Acts 3, and we're going to go to 18 and 19. Acts 3, 18 and 19. It say, but those things which God beforehand showed by the mouth of all his prophets that Christ should suffer, he had so fulfilled. So it tells you that it was written about Christ having to come and suffer. He fulfilled what was written about him, the suffering part. He said, this guy knows no Bible. What did Christ come to fulfill? He couldn't have came to fulfill the law because he told you you just had to keep the whole law. So now, Luke. This is Luke chapter 18, verse 31. Then he took unto him the 12 and said unto them, behold, we go up to Jerusalem, and all the things that are written by me, the prophets concerning the Son of Man, shall be accomplished. Why Christ keep talking about the things that was wrote about him, he has to accomplish. What was wrote about him that said the law was done away with once Christ came? Show me what the prophet said when once Christ came, we don't have to keep the law no more. Show me that. I want somebody to show me where Christ said the things that were wrote about him had to be fulfilled. He never told you you ain't had to keep the law. Y'all talking about he don't know the Bible. You know how, this is why I say sometimes it's be so hard talking to Christians because y'all really don't believe the Bible. Y'all want to sin and y'all want to break God's laws so bad, so y'all use justification. If Christ said after one more time for people with slow comprehension, I'm going to slow the words down for you. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill what was wrote about him. For verily I say unto you, To heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. So he said, not one little piece from this law is to be taken, till all the prophecies in the Old Testament are fulfilled. He said, for verily I say unto you, he said, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments. What commandments is he talking about? And shall teach men so. You know how y'all teach in the churches, y'all don't have to keep the law? Christ saying, if you teach people not to keep the commandments. I don't know how y'all keep missing all this in the Bible. This is what I tell y'all. Y'all pick and choose what y'all want to do to make y'all feel better. Christ said we still got to keep this damn law. That's what Christ said. Keep the damn law. He just said, if you teach men not to keep it, then you should be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. Man has taught wrong for so long. That's who taught us we didn't have to keep. Y'all say it's hard. We can't keep the command. It's not like right now, according to the Most High, I'm being perfect right now at this moment. You know how I'm being perfect? I'm keeping all my God's laws. If you were sitting at home watching TV and you just watching TV, you're not breaking none of God's laws. You are being what you would call perfect. This notion that what y'all think perfect and what's not perfect is something that the churches set up. Didn't the Most High say David was a perfect man, a man after his own heart? Didn't the Most High say that about David? So when y'all think we can't keep this law, the law is meant for us to be kept. The law helps govern us. Do you know without a law, anything without a law is chaos. It's chaos. When you don't have, even listen, when I used to gang bang, we had laws. When I was coming up in Chicago, we had laws we had to follow. And you know what a lot of laws was patting off of in every gang? The 10 Commandments. We couldn't steal from our brothers. We couldn't hurt our brothers. Where do you think these laws was coming from? Just like the laws of America set up, a lot of them use the Bible. When you go to get on the stand and testify, they had you touch a Bible and swear on the Bible. They took a lot of things from the Bible. No, you're right. Zacharias, yeah, they were perfect walking in the law. I just always bring that up because I always hear people say, we can't keep the law. What, you can't stop eating pork, shrimp, crab, lobster? Is that hard for you? Is that hard for you to keep the law that you can't, you know? Right. Criminals do have codes, you know, and you know what a lot of the codes criminals do have is based off Bible. And what I mean by Bible, the conscience that we have inside of us to say, we ain't gonna hurt no little kids. That's how we not now. Even I'm a firm believer. Even these little young boys in Chicago shooting up cars and everything, and like the little young girl that just got killed this weekend, a 5-year-old girl. I don't even know why the father had the girl out at 3 o'clock in the morning, but their intentions was not to, you know, kill kids. We always had this sense of morality, and that's why I believe we took advantage of as a people. Right. And Timothy, we have to eat clean. See, people know we supposed to eat clean. Y'all don't know how these laws set up. Let me help y'all. Blacks and Hispanics, we have the biggest heart rate disease. I mean, we die from heart attacks and heart more than any other nationality. You know why? Because the diets, the stuff we put in our bodies. If we follow the Most High dietitian law, it'll cut down on what we supposed to be doing. We wouldn't die from certain things. You know what I mean? Because we keeping the dietitian law. That dietitian law helps us. So when we following the dietitian law and we eating pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, when we keeping the laws that he set up for us, it's to help govern us. Let's just flip it like for now. And I know what I'm about to say might offend some people, but I stand with the Most High. That's who I stand with. And I know so many people come against us because just like they went against the disciples, we expect them to go against us. That's why the Most High picked us. He needs some tough, hard-headed, skin type Negroes that gonna go out here and stand on it with nothing to lose. Now, this country is very ungodly right now. Everything people damn near in the Christian church believe in is against the Most High. And let me say this, I don't vote. So if anybody take this personal, that's on you. You people are actually voting to kill babies. That's against the Most High. Y'all voting for homosexuality. That's against the Most High. Everything y'all introducing goes against what my God stands for. Goes against what my God stands for. Do we believe in Christ here, or we focus on the Old Testament and the law? Why y'all keep saying we focus on the Old Testament? The Old Testament speaks of the New Testament. Everything they quoting, let me help y'all understand something. When they was writing the New Testament, there were no such thing as the New Testament. Everything they quote comes from the Old Testament. The old New Testament didn't exist. So why y'all always say, do we focus on Christ? You want to know what Christ focused on? Let me show y'all what Christ talked about. Let me give y'all some real thing on Christ, man, because y'all got it twisted with Christ. This loving Christ y'all have don't exist in the Bible. So now let's go to Matthew 10, verse 34. Let's see what Christ said. Christ said, think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. First and foremost, Christ never said he was coming to send peace on earth. Christ said, I ain't come to cause peace on earth. I came to bring a sword. This is the New Testament. What Christ y'all talking about? Let me keep going. Let's go to Matthew 15 and 24. We're going to keep staying on Christ. Then Peter and the other apostles said unto him, Christ said, but he answered and said, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Okay, then. I'm cool with that. I'm going to leave that one right there. I got so far 897 views on TikTok. I love TikTok. You get to argue with people on TikTok all day. You know, they love arguing on TikTok. I love arguing on TikTok too. It's fun. I love arguing on TikTok. It might hold up. Man, they just restricted me. I got 900 views now. I'm going to tell you why they restricted me. When you get to talking about the Christian church, this was so crazy about this stuff, this internet period. If I go along and say the things that y'all want me to say, there's no problem. But if I don't be a good slave and start bucking a little bit, then y'all got to put them chains back around my neck and on my arms to let me know, nigga, don't be running your mouth. You still a slave. Don't get this twisted. Don't get it twisted. I don't even know. Let me see what they say I said. Hold up. I have 900 MC. They said, I said, tell me where I said hate speech at. What did I say was hateful? You know why they said I was saying hateful? I said people are voting to kill babies. That's not hateful speech. That's what's happening out here. When you go to vote and you voting for abortions, to have abortion, You voting to kill babies. I don't care if it's hateful speech to you or not. That's the truth. It's so sad that you can't speak truthful now. When I say people going to vote for us to be homosexuals and that's against God, that's the truth. I bet you if I was on here talking about homosexuality is the best thing in the world, I wouldn't have no problems. But I said everything these people are doing are against God, and now I'm restricted. They kicked me off TikTok. I still got 900 some views, though. I ain't tripping. I still got 900 some views. Busters. Well, it was fun while it lasted. You know, I'm a rebellious Negro anyway. I don't think the social media thing is really my take because I'm one of them Negroes subject to say anything out my mouth. I'm for real. I was like that even in prison. When locked up, I didn't, them COs couldn't, they know I wasn't just no any type of dude. That's why I stayed the majority of my time locked down 23 hours a day. You know, 23 hours a day. That's so crazy. I can't speak out against abortions. I can't speak about that. I can't speak out about homosexuality. This is the world we living in now. Y'all trying to tell me this shit godly? This is what y'all telling me, man? If I say something about things that's against my God that he told me not to do, I ain't allowed to speak on that. I ain't allowed to speak. And you know who pushed this? Majority of them women that's in Christian churches. And you know why I say that? Because when you go to vote, you don't know what policies y'all voting for. You ain't took the time, instead of being loyal to a party, know what you voting for. Right now, y'all trying to get rid of the New Testament. Right now, they trying to ban the New Testament right now. Most people don't even know that. Because the people they vote and put in office, they don't care what they do. They just feel like they got to be loyal to a party. How about you being loyal to your people? Let's be loyal to that. Be loyal to your people. Let's try that. Let's try not being loyal to the Democrats, the Republicans, the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Baptist Church. We want to be loyal to everybody but us. Now, when I got on here, man, I was on some chill side. I'm still chilling. Don't get it twisted. I'm still chilling. I just breaks my heart that I can't speak about certain atrocities that go on, or they say I'm making hateful speech. If I talk about people murdering children, how I'm getting hateful speech? How about the people that's doing it? Why they ain't hateful? Why I'm hateful because I speak against it? I wouldn't be hateful if I was with it, but if I speak against it, you deem me hateful. It's crazy. Well, we are the ISUPK out of 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the commanding. And what before I leave, for all you people out there in TV land, stop lying on the Israelites. There are no Israelites, or at least not in the ISUPK, because I heard somebody say the IS. We never said we are Hamites. Do not spread no lies saying we said we were Hamites. You ain't seen no brother in the school ever quote, we were Hamites. We know we ain't. That's one of the key things we speak out that we ain't. So don't be running around here lying on us. If y'all feel some type of way, sit down. Let's chop it up. I mean, we can mentally break down anything you trying to break it down on. We can break it down on. But we ain't never said we was no Africans. So stop spreading that lie. And I'm speaking to some of you people in Dayton, Ohio. I ain't speaking to nobody else. Well, I'm speaking to whoever said it. I don't pick no shots now. Whoever said it, that's who it go to. And I'm going to stand on it. Don't be lying on us. We ain't never said we was no damn Africans. We ain't no damn Africans. I just heard a dude today talking about the ISUPK. ISUPK ain't said none of that. Don't be lying on us. With that, man, we are the ISUPK out of 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the commanding general, Your Honor. To all my blacks, Hispanics, and Latinos. Now, when I say Hispanics and Latinos, if you are of Spaniard descent, this message is not for you. You ain't one of our people. I'm out here speaking to my people. You know how everybody else get to talk to their people? I come to talk to my people. That's what I come to do. I'm kind of mad they kicked me off TikTok. I ain't gonna lie. I was getting like, shit. This weekend we had over 9,000 views. Like, just for a couple of hours. Just ask some questions. I shouldn't have said it. And one of them niggas told on me. Somebody had to report me. Say he talking about us killing. He talking about us can't bump and grind. Why he talking about us bumping and grinding? I just said it was against the Most High. And you can see when somebody would say that's hateful speech. You know why it ain't hateful speech if you talk about killing a black man? I can get on here and say I'll blow a nigga's brains out their head and nobody say it's a hateful speech. Why I can say get up here and say this sister, oh, she ain't nothing but a bitch. Bitch ain't bit. And nobody gonna say it's hateful speech. I won't get banned. Won't nothing happen to me for saying that. But if I say something against homosexuals or people murdering kids, babies, then I'm speaking hateful. So I can talk about killing everybody else. I can talk about killing my people. But if I say I'm gonna blow the brains out of a gay person's head, it's hateful. Why it ain't hateful if I say I blow the brains out of another black man's head? Why that ain't hateful? Why is it hateful if I talk about, well, I'll stomp a baby? That's hateful. But if the white man say I'll go ahead and put it in abortion clinic and kill it for you, that ain't hateful. Why if that's the hope. I'm just trying to get an understanding on this. Why anything when it comes to us or something pertaining to us, it ain't hateful speech? We can talk about killing each other all day. It ain't nothing hateful when it comes pertaining to my own people. But if I step outside my people and talk about something else or some other people, then I'm deemed hateful speech. Black people's lives don't matter. Like the black man ain't value, his life has no value to it. That's what it is. With that, we are the ISUPK at 125th Street, Harlem, New York. You know, I was just trying to get y'all to recognize that we can keep these commandments. That's how we was talking about keeping God's laws. Somebody said you couldn't keep the law. I was showing them what all throughout the Bible, man. In the Bible, they were keeping the law. Even when you go to Acts, I think it's 21 and 20, it tell you, man, it was Jews out of every nation, and they were keeping the law. So it's like I hear people all the time say we can't keep the law, and that just don't make sense to me. My God said don't eat pork, so I don't eat pork no more. My God told me don't eat shrimp, crab, lobster, so I don't eat shrimp, crab, lobster no more. My God say I can't go over there and bust this brother's head because that's my brother, so I don't go over there and bust his head no more. My God said don't have an evil eye towards my brother, so now I learn to try to know my brother's mind state and try to forgive my brother so I don't got to bust his head because I'm allowed to defend myself. Don't get that twisted. I ain't no Christian. I don't even know what that is. I'm an Israelite, and they wasn't soft. You know, my God said, hey, I don't want you sleeping with that married woman. I can't sleep with the married woman. It's like, why do y'all find these things so hard for y'all to do? Why? We can't keep the law. Paul said, do we avoid the law because we under grace? Paul said, God forbid. That means no. We have to still keep these laws. See, a nation without laws is chaos. So you have to have established laws. Even when Christ comes and establishing this new government, it's going to be laws. We got laws in this country we got to abide by. You think I wouldn't love to run every red light? But the laws that is set in place stop us from wrecking because there's laws put in place so we can't run every red light. So we always have to have laws. The Most High ain't gonna never have a government without laws established. So when people say we don't have to keep the laws, that's chaos. That's living in total chaos. No laws, that's chaos. That means we can do what the hell we want. Trust me, if I didn't believe in God's laws, boy, it's a whole lot of you brothers, man. I'd be back on it. And then before dudes say blah, 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 I didn't heard it all before. When I was in there in these streets, brothers didn't really want me in this. When I was in it, I was full-fledged, 10 toes in. My first love, my woman, my everything. That's what that was for me. When I used to get into it with a brother, I couldn't eat, sleep, nothing until I got him. I got like something that's inside me that's just, But see, my God told me I got to think a different way, move a different way. So now that same energy I had in me, I put it out there trying to push my God's word. That's what I do. And I try to stand on top of his commandments. Do I slip? I ask for God to repent and I ask him to forgive me. I try to turn from them sins and keep it moving. The Bible said a just man falls 7 times. That means you don't go out your way to keep falling, but sometimes you may fall. I hear Christians say, I'm saved. That's some of the dumbest crap I ever heard in the Bible, man, because she got baptized. They don't even do water baptism really in the New Testament. You get baptized by the word, the washing of your mind. That's how you get cleansed. If you dip me in the water and I come back up and then my mind ain't changed, then I'm still the same person, whether I went in the water or not. That's why Christ and the disciples baptized with the word. This is what you get now, baptism. You getting this word. Damn, I can't believe TikTok kicked me off like that, man. I feel some type of way about that. I was kind of enjoying that. I shouldn't have never said nothing about no people. And you know what's so crazy? It's like they gonna force this on people. That's what they're doing. If you speak out against it, you get banned. Y'all actually forcing this on somebody. Like y'all crazy in America. And if I'm a firm believer, if enough churches spoke out, it wouldn't be this big. This I know. They need that funding, though. They ain't about to speak out. I ain't get through to do my whole ditty. With that, shalom, y'all. Okay, Rick. All right, I'll see you next week. So all my brothers, man.